On today's DNVR Broncos show, we are building the Broncos' final 53-man roster after we have the knowledge of OTAs, mandatory minicamp, in our back pocket. Who's going to make the team? Who's not? We're building it starting now. We're kicking the offseason off with the little spirit week here at DNVR and looking forward to it. Plus, we're going to build the Broncos' 53-man roster, and it all is live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores inside the DNVR Bar, and we are the DNVR Broncos Podcast. Ryan Koenigsberg to my left, Henry Chisholm to my right. We got Logan and you here behind the camera, and Zac Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, how was your weekend?
Fantastic. How was yours?
It was fantastic as well. It feels like summer is in full swing now.
Yeah.
But I guess for Henry, it's been full swing since April, beginning of April when the Rockies kicked off.
If I get to spend my day watching baseball, it's summer. That's how I feel.
I love it.
Yeah, we did some golfing. Went out to Common Ground.
Yeah, Henry and I went golfing.
We did.
We got bludgeoned.
We did get that. But it's one of those
Why?
It's an incredible golf course. Like it's like one of the best in Colorado. I think, not that I've played enough to say, but the thing is, if you don't play well, you just get destroyed.
Yep.
So like you're hitting the ball in the rough. Like the guy we were playing with, like he hit one that was like 3 inches from the bunker, but you just couldn't see the ball there because it was like in the grass. The grass is so deep. Yeah.
10 minutes while the rest of us like finish, and then right as we were walking off the hole, he like finally found it. So then he like rushed and finished. But yeah,
it was rough.
It was very fitting for a US Open week because the same stuff was happening to the guys at Oakmont, which I think that's my favorite golf tournament I've watched since Tiger's prime.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was so good.
It's rare that you get so many guys in it at the end.
Yes, exactly.
But with like 3 holes to go, there were like 8 different people who could win.
And that was so electric because every score, like basically any score between 3 and 6 was like available on every hole. So you just had no idea what was going to happen. Like a lot of times when the courses are easier, it's like, okay, this guy's just playing so well. Like no one's beating him. He's just going to hit the fairway on the 18th and, you know, hit the green and 2-putt. And it was just like anything could happen. The leader could triple bogey the last hole. Like, so it was unbelievable.
I only watched a little bit of it yesterday, but what was so crazy to me was on one hole, I think like 9 was downpouring. And then on 10, it wasn't raining at all at the exact same time. And I thought of like in football terms, like, could you imagine if there's like a downpour where the quarterback is at the line of scrimmage, but then where the deep safety is, it's dry and there's no rain at all? Just how unique that is and kind of how unique that was yesterday.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So I'm glad you guys had a good weekend. And as I mentioned at the top, we're doing Spirit Week here at DNVR. In fact, over at All City. And it means it should be a perfect way to kick off summer with the Broncos because next 5 weeks, Broncos are on summer break, but we are not on summer break. We're going to be doing 5 shows a week, every single week. And this is a fun week and a fun way to kick it off. It's like they almost made this for the Broncos and the NFL Beats this week. So today, we're wearing our favorite T-shirts here at DNVR. We're going to go around and talk about them in just a second. Tomorrow, we've got a mystery guest day. And it's such a mystery that only one person in the world knows about it, and it's none of us 3.
Oh.
You hear? Got us a mystery guest. Who knows who it might be? That's going to be a very fun one. And we're not going to know until the person shows up on our screen tomorrow at 11:15. That's going to be awesome.
A real test of your journalistic skills here. Can you do an interview with no preparation?
Yeah, exactly. But what if it's like such a mystery guest, we don't even know who the guest is?
Yeah.
Like they just pop up and...
I really hope we recognize the person.
Yeah.
It's going to be really awkward if we don't.
Yeah, that would be.
It would be funny. Like that would be the first question. It's like, okay, who are you?
Yeah, as
Yeah,
long as it's
or-
not somebody who that would be disrespectful to.
I was
us.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
was
I'm
gonna
Craig
say-
Morton. Like,
yeah.
We would have to, speaking of how good of a journalist you are, you'd have to ask questions that aren't asking them who they are, but that get some information out of them without letting them know that you don't know who they are.
Like,
That-
what position did you play?
this actually might be
But no, because that's
whole-
too obvious then.
that might be a whole content idea.
Yeah.
Of just like mystery guests, we can't even see their face, but we can only ask them questions. We have to figure out who they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it would be people
We're like,
we
what's
know.
your favorite moment? And they're like, okay, winning Super Bowl 50. We're like, okay, all right, we got this. Like,
So they'd be in on it then. In that
Yes,
case.
they're in
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yo, if it's someone we know or have covered in the past, we might have to do like the voice.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. We'd have to do the voice distortion on them. Yeah, I like that. This is fun. I mean, we're just making content for the rest of summer now too. Wednesday.
Who do you hope it is? Like, what if it's like
I can't say who I hope it is, and then it's not them, and I'm bummed.
it'd be awesome if it was just like Nathaniel Hackett
Wow.
or like somebody like that. It's like, oh wow, good to see you. Or, like, you know?
That would be something.
Yeah.
So, like, who do you hope it's not? Honestly.
Wow. Who do I hope it's not? Oh, that's a tough one.
Worse because if they're on, you're like,
There aren't a lot of people that I just hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in this market or
No.
this team. 'Cause you would assume it'd have some sort of tie.
I hope that Yaya has like a secret connection to John Elway that we don't know.
Oh,
Wow.
that would be
Would
incredible.
you hate? You wouldn't hate that?
Wow, he doesn't know if it works, so maybe it will work. Maybe it's Peyton Manning. We have Dylan in here who says, Zach, you better shout out my homie who saw Sean Payton at lunch Saturday in Coeur d'Alene.
I don't know about giving Zach commands and not even spelling his name right.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't. Yeah, yeah.
Just seems like if you're gonna demand something of you, you gotta get it
You
right.
also better give me more information. Like, who is your homie?
It seems like maybe that you are supposed to have more information. Like, did they tweet at you?
I don't think so. No, maybe I missed it, but I don't think so, Dylan. Let me
Zach
know.
claims he doesn't really read his mentions.
Sometimes I do. Yeah, the nice ones. Sometimes it can be pretty brutal. Really quick, speaking of shout outs, got to shout out Ian, who is a big Broncos listener and Buffs listener.
Oh.
Met him on Saturday night. So shout out to you, Ian. He's like, maybe I'll be watching the Broncos show this coming week, but I'm definitely going to be watching the Buffs show.
That sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, he would be my kind of guy if he was definitely watching both.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to Ian. So Wednesday, we've got Musical Chairs Day, where we will have a guest from another one of our shows sitting in with us all show. I don't know if we're kicking someone off or if it's just going to be 4-person set. We need to figure that out after this show. We don't even know who it is yet. So that's a mystery guest day for us as well right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a slight misinterpretation of the game musical chairs.
Because I thought when I first saw it, I thought we were all going to be rotating like every segment somehow.
And then you take a chair away.
Yeah.
And then the final segment is just one person.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
See,
that.
that would be musical chairs. Then.
That would be good.
We're creating content for later in the summer right
Yep.
now. Thursday is Big Brothers Big Sisters Day, which is a really cool day. We're just going to be highlighting what we're doing all of this week, which we are all of this week. Every single super chat that we get is going straight to Big Brothers Big Sisters. And when I mean every single penny of it, I mean 100% of the proceeds, because YouTube covers the fees that are associated with that. So 100% of your donation and super chats goes there. So make sure to send all of your super chats this week to support Big Brothers Big Sisters Day, because it's not just Thursday, it's every single day this week on all of our shows. And then Friday,
We're up to $145 already.
let's go.
Out of 10,000.
Let's go.
The week has just begun. Was there a show this morning?
That's all of All City.
Oh.
we're trying to get to a big goal.
So they have shows too.
Yeah, exactly. So let's contribute to that, Broncos. And then Friday, this is about you. It is Die Hard Day. The diehards at All City are going to be directing all of our shows, essentially. In Discord, we're going to ask you guys for some ideas for what you want us to talk about. We might even have diehard call-ins. And we are going to bring back the die-hard chats that we had on the website. We want to hear from the count. We want to hear from every single person that has been rocking and rolling with us for years. When Ryan and I would open up our laptops before a show and see 65 comments, and we hit all of those, we want to hear from all 65 of you, and there's way more than that. So comment on this week's shows. It doesn't matter which one you're commenting on. Over at thednvr.com, if you're a diehard, you'll be able to do that, and then we're going to read all of those on Friday as well. And it's not just a this week thing. Maybe we make it an all summer thing that we do on Fridays. And maybe even if there's so many comments, we open it up even more. So that is our big Spirit Week this week. You got something for us?
Yeah, guys. So to Super Chat this week, it's going to be the donate button. Press on the donate button. Click on the box that says show my name along with my donation live chat. And that's the way you can Super Chat. That's the way that YouTube kind of like just does it for fundraisers and stuff like that.
So you can't leave your comment there, so you have to send it separately, right?
No. You just press on the box. Once you click donate now, show my name in my live chat, and that's where you Super Chat. And that's the way we can also get your donation to Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Okay. Awesome.
Love that. So before we dive into building this Broncos team, tell me why that's your favorite shirt, Ryan. I can guess, but...
Yeah, so this is a Travis Hunter Heisman-themed shirt. It has all kind of some of his accomplishments written down in there, some, buzzwords that go along with the season that was, and obviously... I'm obsessed with black and gold, so the black with the gold foil look on there is pretty sweet to me. This was a stroke of genius from our guy D-Line, in my opinion.
Yeah, the foil is just what takes it over the top. There's so many shirts that I see, and I'm like, man, I wish it had that foil look to it, and this one does. So love that one. Henry, you've got the Air Gordon shirt?
Yes. This one is from, I couldn't remember before. It was Landry Shamet who he dunked on.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, which was awesome. And so then we made the shirt about it. So it's been my favorite. I didn't realize that this was favorite DNVR shirt day until last night. There was a specific mention, and I was going to wear this either way.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just big time.
Yeah, good thing I read that.
That shirt ended up being, so I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit here. That shirt was the first shirt I convinced Eric to print on that specific type of t-shirt, and weirdly enough, it's a lot of people's favorite shirt.
It is. I really like that aspect of it.
Allie also wore that shirt today as her favorite shirt.
No, it's still comfortable.
And I guess I'm the only one repping Broncos on this show, but this is such a cool shirt. In fact, speaking of like almost wearing the shirt, I almost wore the shirt multiple times at the end of last week and was like, no, gotta save it for Monday, gotta rep it as my favorite shirt. And this is like, so we have so many cool Broncos shirts, but this one, it has Bo on it. It has LFB on it. It is orange and blue, and it is as comfy as can be as well.
It has some of like kind of the design elements of the new uniforms on there, which is cool.
Yep. Also the mountains in the back. I mean, it's everything that you'd want for a Broncos shirt. So actually, speaking of all of this, we're doing 30% off flash sale today only. So go to thednvr.com, click the link in our description. If you want to get 30% off, you can get all of these shirts over there for 30% off. Pretty much everything on the website is 30% off. And speaking of the Broncos, let's dive into some football talk after. Give a shout out to our friends over at, they're good friends, and they're over at First Bank. Whether you're on the road, at home, or somewhere in between, First Bank makes banking easy, convenient, and secure. Their mobile banking app allows you to check balances, pay friends, and manage your money anytime, anywhere. And here's the best part. Open a new First Bank checking account today, and you could earn $300. First Bank is all about helping you stay on track. Their tools make it simple to stay in control of your finances without the hassle. No matter where life takes you, First Bank gives you the freedom to bank how and when it works best for you. So if you're ready for a better banking experience and the chance to earn a little extra, head to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus to open your account and bank how you want, when you want with First Bank over at efirstbank.com/bonus. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC, and again, you can get up to $300 by going to efirstbank.com/bonus.
And shout out to our friends over at Raising Cane's. I if you're going on a road trip, they're the best option. It's a perfect. Like, I feel like even like a cheeseburger sometimes can be tough to eat when you drive, just because like if there's like ketchup and stuff on it, it just drips everywhere. But Raising Cane's, it's just the best road trip food because all you do is just use one hand to grab it or dip it or do whatever. It's an underrated part of the equation. That's got to be the best. I can't think of anything else that I would really want to eat. Like a burrito sounds like it could be good unless it starts to spill, but that's another one-hand food. Raising Cane's, best for road trips, best for any situation. Hand battered, cooked to order. Every crinkle cut fry is crispy, perfectly salted. Every Texas toast is buttered to perfection. And their cane sauce is made in restaurant each day. Are you hungry yet? You can get your order today at Cane's and keep the road trip going. Raising Cane's, chicken fingers, one love.
I am hungry. That sounds delicious. And just one more thing. Make sure, as you hear said, if you are going to donate to Big Brothers Big Sisters, we want to hear your comments that you have too. It can be Broncos, it can be about Big Brother, it can be about anything, but make sure to hit that donate button. That is the money that's going to be going to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. All right, guys, let's dive in. So this is kind of a fun thing to do. We're going to do a couple of 53-man roster predictions over the course of the next few months leading up to the roster cutdown day, but let's do one right now. After we have all of the offseason, the Broncos have signed all their free agents, they've got their draft picks, and we kind of now seen them on the team for the first couple of weeks in practice. Let's give our first 53-man. Let's cut it down from 90 to 53 right now. And is the way we should do this, start on offense, then go to defense?
Yeah, I'd say you go position by position and work our way through it.
So let's start. Bo Nix, lock.
He's going to make the team.
So
Yes.
Jarrett Stidham, also a lock, is a
Yes.
backup right there. Now the
Yes.
question is, last year, Broncos had
No.
three quarters. Okay, sorry, Sam Ellinger. You have not made the team. Henry, do you agree,
There's
Ryan?
Yeah, probably.
I agree.
The case for it, though, is just that I can't remember what Sean said last year when he was asked about, but they changed the rule where you get to have 3 active on game days if you keep 3 on the roster. And it doesn't count against your active like uniforms you give out that day. So there's a small chance that Sean thinks like we just want to be able to have 3 on game days. But I agree. Like if it was me, I'd say put him on the practice squad. And if you wind up in a situation where you need a third quarterback in a game, you're just screwed.
Someone in the comments, I think it was John in the comments, said, Sam helped us land Dobbins. How do you cut that guy? And then the next commenter said, you say, Sam, you're cut.
Yeah, exactly. He gets a spot on the practice squad. That's a good result for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Henry,
Assuming you don't go with the new G.
you laid out a good reason for why you would keep him on the 53. If so, my reason why you keep him on the 53 is he's becoming good friends with Bo, and he and his wife are hanging out with Bo and his wife, and
Bo's
Jarrett
friends with
Stidham and his
everyone.
Yeah.
wife. I'm just saying that's kind of
And
what
he's
got
still-
Zach Wilson a spot last year.
Zach Wilson was a first-round talent.
Well, the reason, they just didn't think they could get him to the
Sam
practice
Ellinger was the star at Texas, Ryan. 5-star recruit coming out of Austin.
Yep. Didn't win a whole lot.
No.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you guys. We're just going 2 quarterbacks right there. Let's go running backs. I think this is a juicy one. Let's just dive right in here. RJ Harvey, lock. You guys tell me if I'm wrong on any of these. J.K. Dobbins, lock.
Yep.
Those are the only locks that I think going into training camp right now. I would give an edge to Jaleel as being that third guy right now. So I would put him on this roster right now. Do you guys agree? Because we got 2 out of 3. So it's majority vote for these positions on this show right now.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there's 3 or 4? I think that's
Not sure.
I think that's the other piece. To me, Jaleel, Audric, and Tyler Bidet could be in any order. So I don't have a strong feeling for any of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ryan, where would you go? Or do you want to go crazy and say they only keep 2?
No, they're definitely keeping 3. I'm going to lean Jaleel as well.
Okay. And
Then-
Henry, since you're open to it, we'll just go Jaleel. Now, is
Keep
there
a 4th? Yeah.
Is there a 4?
Who's your 4th?
I mean, I still have Jaleel, Audric, Bidet all in any order. So Audric, Bidet, you could convince me either way.
So, are you trying to? Do you want to make a point that there should be 4?
I think at this point there should be 4. I think if we circle back and say this is a spot where we like goodbye Audric, we'd rather keep JL Skinner. But I think at this point in the process, I'd keep 4.
I say I'm not convinced of keeping 4 right now. And the reason is you got a stacked 1-2. And would you keep a 4th if it's kind of a weak spot? I don't know. We'll have to see where it lines up. So you okay keeping it open for right now and then circling back?
Yeah, I would keep it open. I mean, Audric Estime still is only 21 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that plays a role in this. But at the same time, Sean Payton, I don't know if he cares.
Yeah. And honestly, Audric is the one who you'd probably worry about getting to the practice squad. Like Bidet, you could almost certainly get to the practice squad. Jaleel, I think you'd have a pretty good shot getting the practice squad. But Audric, just because he is so young, and that'll factor in because they'll keep at least 5, you would think, in the building. The question is just whether it's 3 or 4 on the active roster.
Man, it's an interesting spot because I could make the case that Jaleel gets picked up, doesn't make it to the practice squad, averaging 4.8 yards per carry, at least last year, I believe.
There's definitely a chance he gets picked up.
And then the breakout that Bidet had last year, 7 yards per carry? I know it was on just a handful of carries, but just like if someone wants a 3rd or 4th running back, but then I agree with you about Audric too, like a 5th round pick who's 21 years old. That could be an enticing person for someone to pick up. So let's leave that open right now. Let's go to tight end because we got Cornbread D
Burton
in the comments who's saying, oh, yeah, Michael Burton as well. So let's include Burton there.
So that, I mean,
It's kind of 4.
keeping Burton kind of,
You think so?
to me, rules out the RB4.
Because otherwise you're keeping 5.
Yeah. But we can still keep a spot for them.
Yeah, so
It depends on what you do with tight ends, too.
let's keep a spot here and let's go to tight ends because Cornbread D is saying Nate Adkins on this team, ? Well, let's start off with the tight ends. Evan Ingram, lock. Adam Troutman, lock.
I don't think there's any lock after
I agree.
Ingram. Yeah.
Yeah. So then who do we have here that's competing for there's 3 tight ends?
3 or 4.
Maybe this is a way that you can sneak Burton in as he's not a tight end, obviously, but you only go 3 tight ends potentially.
Yeah. I mean, it could be 3 or 4. I think because you have Troutman, you have Kroll, you have Adkins, you have Loner, and then that's got to be it, really, with a chance to make the team.
Does Loner sneak through to the practice squad, or is that not worth the risk?
I don't think he would have been drafted, but I mean, it's up to them. I mean,
I wonder if Sean drafting him kind of opens teams' eyes across the league just a little bit more.
yeah. I mean, and you lose guys who you don't draft to. I mean, they kept Frank Crum last year, even though he had not a great camp, but he didn't get drafted, but they just weren't willing to lose him.
Yeah.
And in the process, they lost DeMontre Jacobs, who they probably, like we were having the conversation, can he get to the practice squad? And he winds up getting picked up by the Patriots and starting 13 games for him last year. So, I don't know. It's just, are you willing to lose Loner in exchange for, maybe this is like Loner or Estime, honestly. Like you get to keep one of those 2 guys and kind of protect them if you only keep 3 other tight ends.
I think they'd be keeping Loner.
They'd be keeping Loner.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think they keep Loner right now.
He was working with the ones, was at least someone said that. I wasn't there.
And he made a really good play at the end of last week, and he's only going, you would imagine he's only going to get better. I don't think Sean's going to, I think Loner's the Frank Crum of this year's roster cut down, where it's like, you could probably get him, but there's just no chance that they want to lose him. So I actually would say that he makes the team. And then
What'd they do with Gargiulo last year? Did he make the team? Because he was their 7th rounder last year. I can't remember.
I think he was the only one that didn't make the team
That could be.
initially. I'm not
yeah,
positive,
I can't
though.
remember either.
But if it's Ingram and if it's Ingram with an E, and if it's Loner, then that means that it has to be Adkins or Troutman or both, because you have to have like a good blocker.
I think if you keep Loner, you probably keep 4. Unless you're really convinced that Loner is ready to contribute.
I see what you're saying. This could be a Loner or Estime.
And honestly, keeping Loner is probably bad news for Kroll. Because he's the guy who you'd see is more of the Joker type.
Yeah.
Although he plays plenty in line too.
No, I
So
totally agree.
Troutman's probably safe. And
You
I would
want
get
4 tight ends?
I think if you keep Loner, you kind of have to, unless you really think he's ready to contribute right now. Because otherwise,
No, yeah, and I don't think you think that.
no, because you're not giving him a jersey on game days, and you're not only going to have 2 tight ends active on game days.
Right.
You wouldn't think.
I think they go 4 tight ends over
Yeah.
4 running backs.
Probably.
How you feel about that?
I lean tight ends.
Yeah, probably.
So
yeah.
do we do it? Those 4? We got Evan Ingram, Adam Troutman, Nate Adkins, and Caleb Lohner.
Adkins. Nate Adkins over Audric Estime.
The thing is, though, I think
It's fair.
the tough part is who actually sees the field. I guess Audric
What
is
about
the
Troutman?
big
Isn't there
back has a
savings
chance.
available there?
There is. And I don't think he's safe.
But where did Adam Troutman come from? The New Orleans
Yeah.
Saints.
Yeah.
Man, this is
Yes,
an interesting like you
save $2.5 million if you move on from Troutman.
outside of Evan Ingram, you can make a case for every tight end on the team on the roster making the team and every tight end on the roster not making the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I think the other piece here is that, like, this is a spot where maybe there is room for an undrafted guy to make the team. You think, let's see, they got rid of Thomas Yasmin. They brought in Cole Fotheringham, not
gone.
undrafted. He's on IR. That's right. He got
Yep.
hurt. And
Caden
then there's
Prescorn is who they
Prescorn's
brought
the
in
other one.
for Fotheringham.
who, I mean, I think they have to keep at least 3 on top of Loner. And if we're not sold on any of them being locks, that means the door's open.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think practice
I mean,
squad
the
for him.
safe bet is no,
Yeah.
but I think the door's open.
So I've only got 2 on the board right now.
What do you lean?
I lean 4. I lean those 4 and only 3 running backs.
Yeah.
Henry?
Yeah, I think it has
Alright.
to be 4.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and I give Kroll as good a chance as Adkins or Troutman.
So it really
but you
does
got pick
come
2.
back down to the young guys, Loner or Estime.
Yeah.
Yep. And one is a little more fresh. One is a little more unknown, which is always a little more tempting. And what you can't forget is at least once since drafting Caleb Lohner, Sean Payton has brought up Jimmy Graham's name when talking about him. That might just be, and then Sean,
Brought up
says,
Jerome Bettis for Audric Estime.
In a different way.
Okay.
yeah, that was just to him sending a message to him. This was trying to prop Caleb Lohner up. So I just think Sean just doesn't want to let another team get his hands on him.
Yeah, and I think if you've been listening to the show closely for like the last 2 weeks, you've learned some things.
About the running backs.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the outside. Let's go receivers here. And this is going to be an interesting one. So we got Cortland Sutton. Lock?
Yes.
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 Cortland Sutton lock. The contract, hit my head and I was like, huh. But no, Cortland Sutton's a lock. Marvin Mims,
Lock.
lock. Pat Bryant,
Lock.
Troy Franklin, lock.
On the team.
Yeah, lock. Am I missing any other? Oh, Devon Vele,
Lock.
I think lock.
Yeah.
So we got 5 locks just off the top of our head.
And I think Trent Sherfield's a lock too. I mean, when you pay a vet to come in, like he's your Traymon Smith replacement, there's a chance they could try to do the thing where you get him on the practice squad, but
Sure field, sure thing.
yeah. I mean,
Honestly,
give him 2-year deal.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trent Sherfield Sr. is a lock. And honestly, guys, I think it might be that clear cut.
Yep.
Is there room for is there a guy who could make a really big impression and be the 7th? Because the reason you're keeping Sherfield is because of his special teams. He's almost like he's in the wide receiver room, and I know you guys have talked about him flashing a little bit, but like he's almost a specialist.
Yeah. I don't expect him to do anything as a receiver. This is a Darren Rizzi kind of call here. Like, I want this guy. So I agree.
So then in that case, you really could keep 7.
You could, but let me read you the names, and you tell me who sticks out to be that 7th. Michael Bandy, Joaquin Davis, Courtney Jackson, Jerwan Newton, A.T. Perry.
Brother of Jerzon Newton, the first round pick for the. Oh, who did he go to? Johnny Newton last year.
Don't know.
He's a big
No
defensive
idea.
tackle. I'm forgetting too.
Yeah, Jerwan is not big. 5'11", 192.
No, which is crazy.
Big
Why-
to me,
yeah.
but A.T. Perry, Kyrie White, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, A.T. Perry's wide receiver 1, so he's probably a
Shut
lock.
your mouth.
Honestly, to me, it comes down to Joaquin Davis. Could he realize his potential in a way over training camp that the Broncos just say, like, well, we're not risking losing this guy?
Yeah, and that's the thing is it just comes down to training camp in the preseason. Like none of them right now have a chance to make it, but if they do something there, and then even if they really, really stand out and impress, they're still probably starting on the practice squad because that's just every team has so many receivers. You just don't see. I don't think there was one receiver last year who got stolen from like a team trying to get him to the practice squad, but then got signed to an active roster. So, like they kept 4 a couple years ago just because they knew we just put Lil Jordan Humphrey on the practice squad. We get to play him 4 games, and week 5 we'll figure out what to do with him. So
Yeah.
I would say they're kind of set there. And if anything, you might say, could we get Sherfield, or would Sherfield be willing to play off the practice squad for the first 4 weeks? But given how his contract is set up, that might not be possible anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Receiver and running back are the 2 positions that are like training camp darlings or preseason darlings, where the fans just go crazy for him, and it's like, we're gonna lose this guy, and then you don't lose him because every team feels that way as well. So
You lose your lineman. That's
Yeah.
who gets stolen.
So we're just going with 6 right now. Those 6.
Yep.
Pretty clear and cut right there. All right, let's go to the offensive linemen. And before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at, and these are, man, you need these friends right now because they are going to help you chill with the summer months. And that's our friends over at Coors Light. Guys, I'm tempted to pop open a Coors Light right now. If these things were cold, if these were chilled on our set right now, oh, it's toasty.
It is
In the
toast.
studio, it's toasty outside. And when I think of summer, I think of Coors Light season. And Ryan, we've got some Ryans meeting up at Coors Field this Friday night.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
so that means Coors are going to be flowing at Coors Field with Ryans. And DNVR, we're also going to be there
What more could you want than a bunch of Ryans and cold Coors Light?
at Coors Field.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could want a competitive baseball team.
Well, yeah,
could do
that,
that.
that's it. And I kid you not, Coors Lights are going to be flowing all week, especially at the Rockies game. So make sure to check them out. And if you want Coors Light delivered straight to you, go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
If you're like me, after enough cold Coors Lights at a place like a Rockies game, you're gonna get kind of squinty-eyed, and then you're gonna take off your sunglasses because you're not getting as much light into your eyes as you want, and then you're going to lose your sunglasses and be really sad, unless those sunglasses are Shady Rays, because Shady Rays will give you the exact same pair back, no charge. They don't need to know what happened. They don't care how many Coors Lights you had.
Incredible.
As long as you were safe. They just want to know you like your sunglasses so much that you want them back. We love that about you. We're sending you a new pair. And that's one of the great features of Shady Rays. The other great feature is that they're all polarized, which is a fantastic thing to have. Protect your eyes from UV rays. Helps you read green, some say.
Ooh.
Some say. But no matter what pair of shades you're getting from our friends over at Shady Rays, you can get it for 35% off when you go to shadyrays.com and use code DNVR. That's code DNVR at shadyrays.com for 35% off. The sunglasses rated 5-star by over 300,000 people.
Yesterday, I rolled over on my couch and had just an old pair of sunglasses there. Heard a snap.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I wish these were Shady Rays.
Yeah.
'Cause then they'd send me a new one. They weren't, so I just went and got my Shady Rays, and now I'm on the Shady Rays game all summer, as I would be anyways, but now they're the best. Okay, so let's go to the offensive linemen. And the starting 5, locks. We
Yeah.
got Garrett Bowles. We've got Mike McGlinchey. We've got Ben Powers. We've got Quinn Miners. And we've got Luke Wattenberg, who quietly has just become the starting center. Like, no doubts about it. So those 5 are absolute locks. What about for depth here? You've mentioned Frank Crum already.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. I think this is probably where the best competition is on the roster because there's just so many different guys. Like, we've talked about how Clay Webb is probably better than some of their draft picks at center. On top of that, you already obviously have your starter. You have Gargiulo, who you drafted last year. You have Forsythe, who you drafted before that. And you're
That's just
probably
one
not
position.
Yeah. And like you look at Clay Webb, and he's probably not big enough to play any guard. Forsythe, I'd probably say about the same thing. Gargiulo potentially could play some guard, I guess, but you're losing guys from that group for sure.
Do you make anything of Clay Webb being listed as a guard on the Broncos website?
I think it's wrong. I mean, he played guard last year, and I don't think they went to the Broncos front office and said, what position should we list him at? They're just like, yeah, he's a guard. I think they have some other weird positions on there too. Like they might have, no, I think they've fixed Savion Jones. But start with Matt Parrott. They brought him back on a 2-year deal. They gave him $4 million guaranteed. He's probably going to be on the roster. You're going to keep a backup center. So you can take your pick out of Forsythe, Webb, Gargiulo. And I think that would be it there. And then you're going to need a backup guard at a minimum, and versatility always helps. Calvin Throckmorton was kind of in and out. Palchevsky might be the front runner for that backup guard spot. Both those guys have played tackle, but probably are better guards. It's tough though because there's like 6 guys competing for 3 spots, maybe even more than 6.
Yeah,
it could be 4 spots.
Yeah, and
probably
then,
will be.
Yeah, Frank Crum as well. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Henry, you're the backup offensive lineman expert. Where do we go? You just threw out how many options there are.
There are so many.
Where do you lean right now?
So do we have Matt Parrott on there?
We don't have anyone on there yet.
We can start with the starters.
Garrett Bowles, Mike McGlinchey,
yep.
Ben Powers, Quinn Miners, and Luke Wattenberg. There's the 5 right there. We're going Parrott as a 6th, almost a lock because
just contract wise
guaranteed. Certainly, I agree with you there.
Yeah. If there was no money involved, I would say to me personally, he didn't look like somebody who should be a lock over any of the others. But the money is the money,
and so that's why it's fair not to say a lock. But probably Sean has cut guys if they are owed money, but they're just not the dude. So that's an interesting one. On the, I think Frank Crum is a lock.
Okay.
Not a lock, but I would put him on here right now.
Let's wait on Crum.
Okay.
Let's pick a center.
Okay.
Do we think it's Forsythe? Because it could be Gargiulo, who they drafted last year. It could
He's been hanging out with Bo all off season.
But by every indication we've gotten,
It'd be Forsythe.
it would be Forsythe. It would be an upset if it's not.
Unless it's Clay Webb.
Which I think is possible. But until we see it, we can't give it.
We could do this all day.
Exactly. So I think we probably go Forsythe.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so then now you need a guard. So that's probably, I mean, that could be Gargiulo. That could be Throckmorton, or that could be Palchevsky. And I think Palchevsky's probably the favorite right now.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's good depth. There's the 8.
And so now you probably get one more.
And that is Frank Crum.
You go Crum over Gargiulo?
They, as you said last year, they kept Frank Crum despite not being good.
True.
But they just loved his traits. And from the little I've seen so far this offseason, I think he has taken a step up. So if he showed promise, then you kind of you don't have to keep him, but I think they would keep him because they gave him the benefit of the doubt last year, and now he's showing something.
The case against that, though, would be that they signed him as an undrafted free agent. In the 7th round, they picked Gargiulo.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
but then I think they cut Gargiulo last year.
True.
And kept Frank Crum.
And if you're going to give anyone the Bo friendship bump,
it's
Frank Crum.
Gargiulo was right there every time, though.
I know.
Right there every single time.
Yeah.
If we got to pick one, I get it. I guess what?
We do, in fact, have to pick one.
Yeah.
And I would go Crumb. Would you go Gargiulo?
The case against it is just that you have a swing tackle who doesn't play any guard. You have a guard in Palshevsky who does play some tackle. Crum doesn't play any guard.
Right.
So you'd really be tripling down on that spot, which isn't a bad thing. But it could mean that if you were to go with a Gargiulo, then you get your guard who then plays center. So your center plays center on the backup. Center plays center, tackle plays tackle. Your two guards, one plays one of each.
How about this, though? Gargiulo was on the practice squad
Yeah.
last year.
Could you do it again? Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, Calvin Throckmorton might be ahead of all of them at this point, but he's a vet and less fun. But yeah, we can go Crumb. We got to make a decision.
So we're going 9 offensive linemen. And after this, looks like how many are we sitting at right now? We're sitting at 23 or 21, 2, 3, 4. 24 on offense. So we got Garrett Bowles, we've got Matt Pert, we've got Alex Forsyth, we got Ben Powers, Quinn Miners, Frank Crum, Mike McGlinchey, and Luke Wattenberg. We are missing one.
That is only 8.
Are we missing a starter?
Did McGlinchey?
Yes, Mike. Yep, we got McGlinchey. We got Miners.
We have Bowles, Powers, Miners, McGlinchey, and Wattenberg. So no. We have Parrott, Forsyth, and Crum.
Need Palshevsky.
Palcho.
Yep. Yeah, Palcho's a little easier to spell than Palchevsky.
Yeah. On the
okay,
bench, you also
There's
like
some C's and Z's.
Yep. So we got 25. So right now we're building a perfectly even roster.
Yep.
Will we get 25 on the defensive side? Should we flip over to that side right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the offensive line, though, we talked about Clay Webb has a real chance. Also, there's other guys who have a good chance, like Xavier Truss, who I believe was a 4-year starter at Georgia, won a national championship.
Big Truss.
Like all SEC. Like this backup offensive line is going to be the biggest competition on the team.
I love it. And that's a great place to have so many guys because most teams don't have any depth at offensive line. The Broncos do have that. Okay, so let's go. Let's just start with the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. Let's start with the big boys in the middle. DJ Jones, lock.
Yes.
Malcolm Roach, lock. I guess we'll do interior defensive line. So that would include Zach Allen
lock.
is a lock. JFM
Lock.
is a lock.
DJ Jones?
We already got
Already
him.
said him.
Oh, so we're at 4 already?
We're
I think
at
those
4.
are the 4 interior locks.
Savion Jones. who you
Savion
drafted.
Jones is a lock.
Yep. Third round pick.
Okay, we got 5.
We're going to have a lot of linemen, defensive linemen.
Yeah. So
Good place to have depth.
last year, the other guy on the roster who played a lot was Jordan Jackson.
Yep.
It was the first time in his career he did that. Played pretty well. He's in the conversation.
I agree.
Eyioma Uwazurike.
Yep.
I don't think they cut him. I think he is just too good to cut. Which might be bad news for Jordan Jackson.
I would also say, like, Sean Payton had his back quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
You can say that.
that's a good sign for him.
Yep.
It is. It's kind of like the Frank Crum. Like you kept him last year for the upside that he could be, and now he's showing that upside. As Henry said last week, Innie has been flashing this offseason. So yeah, I think it's a really
on
good
the
sign
football
for him.
field. And then Matt Henningsen's the
Definitely
other guy.
not in the gambling apps.
Yes. Matt Henningsen spent last year on the practice squad. I think he's got a good chance to compete, but
Kind of make plays every time he gets the opportunity to.
yep. And I think that as of now, though, because Jordan Jackson was on the team, Matt Henningsen was on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Henningsen probably out unless he goes and wins in training camp, but that's up to him, not us.
So Henningsen is not on this list.
We just going with those 6 then?
Yeah.
Or
If
wait.
anything, you could probably get rid of Jordan Jackson if we come back and say we got to get rid of one.
So we're keeping 7 right now then.
So it's
4.
DJ, Malcolm Roach,
Yep.
JFM, Zach Allen, Jordan Jackson, and Innie.
And Savion Jones,
And so we've
which might just mean Jordan Jackson's gone.
So it's 6. No, it's 7.
That's 7.
Yeah, Jordan
Yeah.
Jackson. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Definitely still a shot,
But
but
totally. And he was like on the field a bunch last year.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can, if you're gonna get fat at a position, defensive line is a good one.
Yep.
Could they? I mean, I guess you could make a case they could do 8, but that's like 2 more than typical.
Yeah, no.
They played 27% of their defensive snaps last year.
That's
Okay, so we're
pretty
going
good.
7 right now. No. Did you get any?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, let's go to the outs. Let's go outside linebacker. Nick Benito, lock. Jonathan
Yep.
Cooper, lock. I believe Jonah Ellis, lock. Q
Yep.
Robinson, lock. So we got 4 locks right now. Let me name some other guys. Johnny Walker Jr., DeAndre Tillman, Andrew Farmer. And that's it from
I
the
think
outside linebackers.
DeAndre Tillman's a lock.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yep.
So you've got 12 across the front there.
Yep.
I think something probably has to change. We can see where things go.
No, we can keep it there.
We
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
That's going to be the one position where they're overweight, and that's okay.
I agree. Pass rusher disrupting the passer.
And
yeah.
I think they'll end
You
up
keep
going
that.
light at safety to make up for it.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
looking forward to getting there. And before we get there, let's go inside linebacker. Alex Singleton, lock.
Dre Greenlaw, lock.
Thank you. Dre
Dre
Greenlaw.
Green lock.
Dre Green, lock.
say?
And Justin Strnad, lock.
Mm-hmm.
Those,
Yes.
I think, are the 3 locks going into training camp. And then you have Jordan Turner, you have Kareen Reed, and you have Drew Sanders, plus J.B. Brown, Lavelle Bailey.
I think Lavelle Bailey has a good chance to make the team. I think like they chose like veteran undrafted guys at linebacker who have a chance to make the team. As of now, though, it's Drew Sanders. Like until
Keeping 4 here? Or,
I think 4, and then if Lavelle Bailey is able to beat out Drew, or the other guys too, then it changes. But as of now, I think it's Drew.
And I would go, it's Lavelle.
I'm going to pick Lavelle as
And
well.
Really?
I'm keeping 4 and going Lavelle. They kept Lavelle last year, and I think the upside is showing
think-
right now.
I think they might have added him during the season, right? Or did they just keep him?
I think they kept him.
Huh.
It was a surprise
Because he
UDFA.
balled out in the 4th preseason game or the 3rd.
No, he was
preseason game.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
So we're going Lavelle Bailey, Drew Sanders, I don't know, a surprise cut, notable cut.
Yeah.
At the 53-man cut.
I'm outvoted, but I have to say, I think it's insane. We can move on, but I just want on record, I think that's insane.
Okay. I don't.
What has Drew Sanders done to make you think that that's insane?
Well, I mean, his first play back from injury last year was a sack. Like he's made plays. He had TFL in that same game, I think on like a 3rd down. Like the athleticism, the 3rd down stuff is all there.
He's just out of position so often.
Yeah, but I mean, he's hardly on the field. Like we just haven't seen him actually play inside linebacker since I guess his first chance was the Dolphins game when we all knew he was a project and we all knew that he was going to take time, but they threw him in there. It didn't work out. I think he got like 2 more starts after that, but then Josie came back from injury. I would just say like it's been 2 years since we've seen it. And when they've used him in the 3rd down stuff, it's worked. So I'm not ready to shut the door. And I love Lavelle Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get.
Yeah. You did get outvoted.
Yeah.
I got to vote.
But I'm glad you made your case.
I
Yep.
totally agree. Let's go outside to the cornerbacks right now. Pat Surtain is a lock, as can be. Just clamp Surtain for the roster spot right there. You've got Riley Moss is a lock. You have Jade Barron as a lock. Any other locks here? You got Chris Abrams, Drain, Damari Mathis, Jaquan. Jaquan's probably a
Yeah.
lock. So Jaquan, a lock. Quentin Newsome, Joshua Pickett, Jaden Robinson, Reese Taylor.
I think the next closest one is probably Cad.
Yep.
I agree. That's 5. Simple as that.
Yep.
I think
Done.
so.
Yeah.
You got your outside guys, you got your inside guys. Let's go to safety, where this might be a light group, according to Ryan. So you have Talanoa Hufanga.
Well, how much room do we have here?
I don't know.
Okay.
Linebackers are good.
We got the 4 linebackers correct.
We need 2 more outside linebackers.
Q Robinson.
Yes. Q Robinson and
Jonah Ellis,
he's on there.
DeAndre Tillman.
Dondre Tillman, yes.
DeAndre, is that what I said? Mm-hmm. Dondre Tillman.
Also, Ellis is spelled wrong.
And with the cornerbacks, we need one more cornerback on here. It would be Chris Abrams-Drain. You can just do KAD if you want. Okay, now.
For production is just getting just absolutely
especially because they don't
peppered with names.
They don't spell these guys' names daily like we do. Yeah. So and some of them aren't the easiest to spell. Yeah, I do feel bad for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. We're just like lock.
Okay, we ready for safety now? I think we're all caught up. Safety, we are going Talanoa Hufanga lock.
Yep.
Brandon Jones lock.
Yep.
I feel like I should stop there with locks with how you're feeling, Ryan.
Again, you have to go light at one of these positions because we went heavy on the defensive line / outside linebackers. And this is the last option.
So the other guys there, you got DTY, JL Skinner, PJ Locke, Sinata Locke, and Sam Franklin Jr.
To me, it's PJ and Sam Franklin. I think it's easy.
Okay. So we have room for that? 4?
1, 2.
According to this, we do.
Okay. Yeah, then.
Yeah, according to this, we do. According to this, we're good.
PJ is a lock.
I'm afraid production might have left 1 or 2 people off when we were doing
I'm
this.
a little afraid of that as well.
How comfortable we are right now.
We can run through it at the end though and double check.
Yeah.
So you're going Sam Franklin over JL.
Yeah. I mean, you'd sign him to a fully guaranteed contract. Like he's special teams captain.
But how much money? Like 1.5?
Yeah. But I think if you're bringing him in, like he's another one of those just pure special team signings who I have a tough time believing they're actually cutting him because they've never cut one of those guys.
Because I think JL is a special teams guy too.
Me too. Like I think he's played well. I think who was it talking to Traymon last year? Like you get him on the wing, it's basically like having another gunner out there. At the same time though, like why do you bring in Sam Franklin like a pure special teams ace if you're then going to cut him for guys that you knew you were going to have anyway? You already knew you had JL. You knew you had PJ. To me, it feels like similar to Trent Sherfield that just they wouldn't have brought him in if they weren't planning on keeping him.
I tend to agree. My question is, has JL shown enough upside as a true safety to change your mind if you're the Broncos decision makers at the end?
The answer is probably no. I mean, they got him in packages last year for the first time where it's like the entire defense is healthy and you're taking guys off the field to get JL in there, which is a step in the right direction, but it's not like he made any significant plays or anything. And I love JL and think he's a good prospect. I just think you just got to look at the actions.
Here's why I'm going JL over Sam is JL was a great special teams player last year, and Sam Franklin, you brought him in to be a great special teams player as well. JL still has the upside of that safety spot. So I just think that they're equal on special teams, and you're going to lose $1.5 million on a guy.
Quite equal on special teams.
JL was one of their best special teams players last year.
But at the same time, again, why would they bring Sam Franklin in just to cut him?
Insurance.
They have PJ Locke as insurance.
Special teams insurance.
I don't know if that exists. It also looks like we have room for both.
That can't be right.
We can go back and double check.
I don't know if I'm doing that. So, Ryan, you're the tiebreaker. Which one are you going with?
Henry made a really compelling case. I'm going to give you an opportunity to make a more compelling case for JL.
As Henry said, did get on the field last year on defense. They gave him a little bit bigger of a role, and they drafted him for his traits. It was Sean Payton's first year here when they brought him in, and he has still tons of upside on the defensive side. And like I said, he was a top 3 special teams player for him last year. So it's not like you're losing anything on special teams by going with Sam Franklin instead of JL, and you just have so much more upside plus younger. Everything points to JL, in my opinion.
I don't like being the tiebreaker in this situation, but how old is Sam Franklin?
29.
Old boy.
Yeah, I'll take JL.
Okay.
Right.
I think that's a sign that they would keep him, though. Because you wouldn't bring him in as like a flyer to see what he's got.
Well, that would be a very, like, it could make a lot of sense for him to be the practice squad first 4 weeks kind of guy.
It could be.
Because he's getting all the guaranteed money anyways from being here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Okay, and then the 3 special teamers, you have Riley. No, you don't have Riley Dixon.
Nope.
You have, oh my gosh.
Come on, the rookie.
The draft pick, the Aussie.
Jeremy Crawshaw.
Yeah, Jeremy
Yes.
Crawshaw. Thank you for that assist right there. You've got Will Lutz, and you have the injured long snapper. Why can't I think of his name off the top of my head?
Yeah. Mitch Verboni.
Yep.
Yeah, I got
exactly.
it.
And for some reason, we have one spot.
Yeah. We could go back and double check.
Okay, you did text and ask who the outside linebackers are. Let's make sure you got them. You got Benito, Cooper, Ellis,
Robinson, Tillman,
and Robinson. So that covered it. The defensive line.
They started on a different page.
Yes. One more spot. Is
we can
that
do linebackers.
really just the Zach Wilson
easy?
spot? And we only kept 3 running backs.
Oh, so that's where we ended up going really light.
Yeah.
We went light at
Well, no,
quarterback.
we really have 4 running backs because you have Burton.
Depends on how you count them, yeah.
We went light at running back and quarterback. Maybe that's how. And we only went really extra heavy at defensive line.
That's true. Do you have it written down by position?
No, but I'm just going through those. Can we see the offense again to make sure we got them all?
We're gonna put this out on social.
Only
and
defense
have like
is always
one
Uwazurike.
massive key player missing.
Happened last year.
All right, well, so you have 2 quarterbacks and 4 running backs, so that gets you to 6. You have 4 tight ends, that gets you to 10.
Yep.
You have 6 wide receivers, that gets you to 16.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
8 linemen, right?
I think we have 9 linemen.
9 linemen. And that gets you at 25.
And all 9 are there.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, you've got what, 8 defensive linemen?
So let's see, we have 5 defensive linemen on this page.
Uwazurike
Go to the
was
next
on the
page.
other, yep.
6.
So 6 defensive linemen.
We're missing defensive line.
Oh, we wound up not keeping Jordan Jackson.
But we thought Jordan Jackson was 8.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here we go. We found it. Here's the defensive line. Do you have Savion Jones on here?
Yes.
Yes.
You do. You have Malcolm Roach. You have DJ Jones, Zach Allen, JFM, Uwazurike. So we
Did we just think we counted one more defensive lineman than we did?
that might be the case.
So DJ, JFM, Zach Allen, Malcolm Roach, Savion Jones, and Uwazurike. We thought it was cutting Jordan Jackson was going to take us from 7 to 8.
Yeah.
Or from 8 to 7.
And so we could add Jordan Jackson.
So our options become Jordan Jackson, Sam Franklin, Sam Ellinger, Audric Estime,
Drew Sanders.
Drew Sanders. Dang. Compelling. I think you guys got it right. I think we did the math wrong in our head.
Where do we go? Definitely not Sam Ellinger. Sorry.
Okay.
Drew Sanders.
Audric Estime, Jordan Jackson, Sam Franklin. What a compelling conversation. You have the tweener linebacker that you feel like you finally found a position for.
I don't know if you finally feel like you found a
Okay,
position.
well, you finally decided on a position
Yep.
for. You have the 21-year-old running back that you drafted in the 4th round last year.
Yeah.
5th.
5th round.
Yeah, 5th.
You have the special teams ace that you signed to a fully guaranteed contract. And who was the last one?
It was
Oh, and the defensive lineman who played 27% of your snaps last year.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's
People
see.
in the toilet chat, really quick. People in the toilet chat are saying we're way too light in the defensive back room, only going with 9. Especially they're pointing it out when you have a couple of injured guys in there as well. Do we need to add to that room? That would be the case for Sam Franklin.
The thing is, again, like the rules are just so different than they were 3 years ago when you'd be worried about being light. now you still have your practice squad. And so it's like Devin Key is still going to be on that practice squad.
Really quick, we are going to finish this in overtime. Go to thednvr.com, scroll down a little bit, or you can see the live video at the top. Click on that. We're going to finish our show there over at thednvr.com. So continue, Henry.
Yeah, like you're good. You still have Sam Franklin still probably on your practice squad. You still have whoever I just said is still on your practice squad. Devin Key, who's played a bunch of games. So I wouldn't worry too much about only having 9 because they're still in the building.
Yeah.
The only difference is they're not active on game days. And Franklin honestly might be anyway. Damari would be a potential addition. I think cornerback you're more likely to add, but I have no issue cutting him. I think all that there might be a DB who stands out in training camp who you're like, oh, keep this guy. But as of now, it doesn't exist.
The person that we cut that had the most passionate response from anyone was Drew Sanders.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
that's
it's Drew arrested.
where I would probably go is keeping Drew. Because Drew's not getting to the practice squad. Audric, you could get lucky.
I'm cool just going
That's it.
Drew.
Okay.
All
Drew
right.
Sanders gets the last spot.
Congratulations, Drew. We cut you, but you didn't leave the building. We brought you back in.
We called you back and we're like, we didn't actually mean to cut you.
We
Sorry.
actually did bad math in our heads. So you're safe. You made it. And I'm sure you feel very comfortable being on this team after you were cut and then actually not cut. So that there we go. There's our 53. And maybe the team will make it harder on us come final cut day. But this wasn't too bad.
No.
Feels like there's 52 spots locked up right now. Not actually that, but like 49 spots that may kind of be played out. And Henry, we'll be watching a training camp every single day to see who gets those final 4 spots.
That was fun. That was compelling.
Yeah, it was fun.
But I feel like I much rather. I remember doing a 53-man roster prediction with you at one point, and we were just like, there's only like 30 players that I'm sure about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it says a lot about the development of the roster that there was a lot more than 30 players.
Yeah.
Such a good point.
Like all 6 receivers, 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, maybe only 1 tight end, but 5 offensive linemen, 6 offensive linemen probably. There are quite a few.
Yeah.
Defensive line, there's like 6, 5.
Yeah.
There are a lot.
Yeah. This was fun, and we're going to continue Spirit Week tomorrow with a mystery guest. Only Yahir knows who's going to be joining us. It's going to be a very, very fun one. And if you're a diehard, make sure to stay tuned to the Discord chat this week where we're going to come up with some ideas for Friday, and we need your help. So that's going to do it for us. We will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Special guest join us at 11:15.
We all silly like the mayor.